I'm glad you gave me the questions before. That's very helpful.
All right, you ready to do this thing?
Let's do it.
Let's get started. All right. Hello and welcome to the Preferred Contractors podcast, where we give you actionable steps to grow your contracting business. I'm your host, Jordan Harrison, and in today's episode, we're going to get into the importance of how you document your process when you're a contractor out on your job, how you document from beginning to end for a ton of reasons, in which I won't go in right now. But we have a special guest and excited to have her on. Claire Ficke from CompanyCam is going to talk us through that and how you can use CompanyCam to really help in that document process. So Claire, welcome. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So I have to comment first before I get some background on you and for the audience. But I followed Claire's stuff. If you don't follow her on Instagram, and I think you have other social platforms we'll get into, but she had really great content coming out. And there's a reason why I asked her to come on the show, because I looked at her and I was like, man, she's actually talking about things that these guys need to be doing, all right, every single day in their business to not only cover their butt, but like, how to document your process, how to sell, all these things that problems that company can solve. So it was just great education. So I want to comment on that. So if you got to look her up, Claire CompanyCam on Instagram, and check out her content. So yeah, it's really great stuff.
Appreciate that. It's really fun. I will say that the community on social across all trades is so cool. It's you can find so many resources, so much knowledge, so many great tips and hacks, and it really is a cool community if you dive in, especially if you dive into like specific trades. So yeah, it's great to be on those platforms if you're not on them already.
And I think, and I know we talked about this before we got started. I'm thinking like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when the internet was coming about and there wasn't social media. It was so much harder to start a business. Now, to me, it's like, while you have to learn to break through the noise, there's not really an excuse anymore. You got people solving problems every day for you, and you got all this knowledge out there. You just have to search and do the work.
Yeah, 100%. It's so easy to jump on and to like share what you're doing. It really truly is. And there's a lot that you can miss out on. So yeah, I completely agree. There's no excuse.
So let's get started with, give us some background on you and your journey with CompanyCam. Like, why did you decide to start working with them?
Sure thing. So I'll just start with saying that the company itself is incredible. I work with some of the most amazing people. And the company is truly just so transparent and so genuine. And I believe that that's so is because, we're creating a product truly based on customer feedback and based on what's truly happening out in the field. We were started by a roofing company in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they built CompanyCam for a need, for challenges that they were experiencing, and they built CompanyCam for themselves. And then obviously they went to market, and now almost 7 years later, we have over 15,000 contracting companies using us, which is incredible, which means it's a need across for all contractors. But how did I get involved? I was definitely not involved in contracting at all. My family that was nothing that we did. It was brand new to me. I was honestly planning on moving to Colorado. I'm from Nebraska. I was planning to move to Colorado back in 2018. And a friend called me up and said, "Hey, I've been working for this startup. There's only 30 people in the company right now, or maybe a little less. And I don't know, but I just feel like you would fit the vibe." Never thought I would go into sales. It was something I totally didn't think I would ever want to do. And then I interviewed, decided not to go to Colorado, and it was the best decision I ever made. I ended up working in our inside sales team for about a year. And then I moved to California. Decided to try out some other jobs, try to meet some new people. And then back in 2020, I just felt the pull to go back, and I saw how much CompanyCam was growing, how many great things they were creating, and the following that they were receiving. And I always kind of knew in the back of my brain that I would return, just truly because they treat their employees so well, and also again they just create a product that is truly helping people and making a difference for contractors' lives. So yeah, I've been back for, it's going to be 2 years and maybe 3-ish months, which is crazy. I'm in the business development team, and I work specifically with contractors within mechanical services and construction. But we work across all trades, so I dip my toes in all of them. But it's just been such a blast. It's been such a good ride, and I learn every day. So yeah, that's kind of the background.
And it's funny you say sales. Is like you said, you didn't see yourself in sales. I've done some door-to-door sales, not like it was B2B stuff like a long time ago. And the same thing, like I think anybody can do sales if they believe in the product enough. So I think, because I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, hey, man, somebody goes, hey, this, you should look into this, look into that. And I was like, no, man, I don't sell things, right? I'm just not good at sales. And I think when you believe in a product and you have a company and a culture like you guys have, and it's obvious through your content and talking with you today, it's super easy, right? And it's not even selling anymore. It's educating, solving problems.
100%. Yeah, 100%. If you believe in it, anyone will talk about it, right? You will talk about what you believe in. We love to share reviews, right? That's something I'm really, really big on. So yes, I completely agree. It's easy to talk about CompanyCam.
Yes. So let's get into some documenting of work of what CompanyCam actually does and helps. So
Sure.
what are the biggest mistakes contractors are making when they're actually documenting their work for, let's say, for insurance? It could be for insurance claims, but just in general, really.
Yeah, sure. So it's a great question. Like I said, CompanyCam we got our start within roofing, and then restoration was it was a very natural progression to move into resto, just strictly because you need photos to get paid, right? So it's all about insurance, specifically with those trades. So yes, we built a lot of the features within CompanyCam based off of some of the main mistakes that contractors were making. So I kind of boil it down to 3 main pieces. The first is going to be that they're not taking enough photos. Providing enough photos, right, will help you avoid time-consuming conversations, having to go back and forth with adjusters, having to have arguments. Ultimately, it's going to help you get paid faster and get the materials that you need. So taking enough photos, I know that sounds kind of like a no-brainer, but truly we still run into that all the time. So taking enough photos. But what that flows into is, sure, you could be snapping photos, but if the photos don't show the full picture, if it's not fully allowing, these companies to grasp what you need and why you're asking for what you need, then it's just going to, again, create convoluted conversations and slow down the process. So that's another big reason why so many people within restoration roofing were really drawn to CompanyCam, was because they could easily snap their photos. And then within CompanyCam, sometimes we call it Snapchat for contractors. Within CompanyCam, there is a toolbar where you can draw all over your photos, and you can annotate, you can add stickers, you can add arrows, you can add descriptions. We've really up-leveled that tool because so many people love it, because they can easily, with an arrow, point out, this is exactly what needs to be fixed, this is what's broken, this is what I'm asking for. They can make a note, and then they can just attach that to their claim, and the adjuster can see it right there. So it just paints a full picture and provides a lot more context. And I think and then the last piece I would say is attaching too many photos. So again, you can be snapping as many photos as you want, but if it's not truly getting across your point and the line items that you need to fill and what you need, then it's really, again, going to create just a longer process. So the adjusters are looking at different claims every single day, and for you to be able to be very straightforward with them and share exactly what you need, makes that process so much faster. So I would say that those are the three main things that we run into. And ultimately, if you can be clear and concise, you're going to get what you need a lot faster. So that's kind of my tips.
And that's interesting. You say take to me photos. I'm as a content creator, I've gone on site with clients to shoot, their product or service, what they do. And the first time I ever did it, I didn't take enough photos. I thought, oh, this is plenty. And I came back and only about 20% of my photos were worthwhile, and it was not enough. So next time, guess what I did? I took a ton of photos and videos, and now I was able to like extend it over time. So I think that's important. And for most people, you've got the cameras on these phones now are so nice that you don't have to bring out any other cameras anymore. And I think that's where Apple gets smart, is they're upgrading their camera. And I used to go, why are they doing this? And I was like, well, they're smart because everybody's doing social media and videos and all that stuff, and they're doing it all from their phones. So now they don't have to go buy a third-party product. So no, I agree. So especially those guys starting out, if they're in the restoration industry and they're documenting for those purposes, fantastic steps to get going. So as far as insurance claims, what are other kind of benefits for documenting work?
Yeah, there's a million. Right? I mean, we can just talk about how as humans, we are incredibly visual, right? So photos were really, really, like, we can even just bring it back to like social media and the internet, right? Visuals are huge for us. And then that has just escalated into moving graphics, GIFs, and now TikToks that are so fast, and they have all these different sound effects and all these different, colors and things that you can do. We're visual people. And so when it comes to your work, being able to have that visual component is going to touch every single part of your business and is going to enhance that. So I could say a million other reasons why documenting your work is so important, but I'll call out a few. So first is like team communication, right? So you depending on your trade, right, you could be working at multiple different team members out in the field, multiple different locations, maybe in one day, in one week, or maybe you're working on a super large project that's spanning many months, right, and you need that progression. So with all those examples I just gave, that's a lot of moving parts that can easily become disorganized, confused, and there can be so many different photos sitting around. You don't know which job that photo goes to. Sometimes maybe you're trying to communicate with somebody that's out in the field, and you're back in the office, and everybody's doing different jobs. So I even just like made myself overwhelmed by everything that I'm saying, right? So really, when you document well, and we'll go into what documenting well looks like. When you document well, it really streamlines your communication with your team. It allows you to communicate. It allows you to know what job, what project you're communicating on. It allows you to get, what you need and communicate what you need back to the office very quickly. It's just a no-brainer at this point to document and know where that data goes to, what job that data goes to, because then you can communicate with your team even better. Another big piece is customer transparency, and that's something that we've really been getting into when it comes to up leveling our product. Is we've realized, wow, people, it's a competitive world out there. Within every trade, it's competitive. So being able to visually share and be transparent with your customer, whether that's during the progression of a job and being able to like show them the shingles that are going on their roof in live time with those photos, right? Or strictly, if they're trying to decide which contractor to go with when it comes to installing a new HVAC unit, and you can visually show the photos of some of the installs you've done, right? Being able to share visually what you have done or even what you're doing progression wise just turns a first-time customer into a long-time client, right? And that's a no-brainer, but all you need to, you're doing the work, snap the photos. And then I guess the last piece, I could talk on this all day, like I said. I guess the last piece would be covering your butt. 100%, right? So we've had every single day, we have a story of a client, of a customer of ours that will say to us, you saved me thousands and thousands of dollars just strictly because I was held liable for something that I could then prove that I didn't cause, right? Just by having photos and having the ability to easily snap photos, to easily document and easily be able to point out what exactly we did. So truly being able to protect your company is a really big deal. So those are kind of the three pieces: team communication, customer transparency, and covering your company's butt.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And for those who are just starting out in their business and getting into this, like taking the time to work that into your processes as you go, super important, right? Take the time to learn it now, implement it. Yes, it's a pain in the butt, but like you said, it's going to save you thousands of dollars. The transparency fact, and of course, I think we talked about this before too. Brand recognition and trust, like that's how people are going to trust you. And if I'm not mistaken, with some of the new API and integrations you guys have, and we'll talk about that in a minute, like you can actually feature this stuff on your website, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big thing that we're getting into. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's super helpful. Yes, we talk about doing video content all the time on this podcast. But I mean, even pictures does the work. And what would have been, I'll tell you this, a quick story would have been nice is to be able to have this product when I got my AC unit a couple years ago. The company did a great job, but there's something they did in the middle of it that made me uncomfortable was they moved my air handler out of the closet in our hallway closet, and they had to put it in the attic. Well, then they're like, hey, can we cut a hole in your ceiling? You're like, what? Like just out of the blue, nonchalant, but knowing, like seeing, if I would have been able to look at some photos of jobs that they've done previously, like, oh, that could be a possibility, probably wouldn't have caught me off his guard as much. But that, to me, that's an example.
Sure.
Now they did a great job, but like I said, very nonchalant. Hey man, do you mind if we cut a hole in your ceiling right here? I'm like, I guess so, because you in it now.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, even the fact that you even still remember that experience, right, means that that's kind of like baked in your brain. And ultimately, you as a company want people to remember a good experience and not necessarily an experience where you felt a little uncomfortable. So I think that, yeah, as you said, if you could have like visually, if they could have sat down and said, hey, we need to do this and this is like what we're seeing, and they could visually show you it, it creates that transparency and that comfortability, and again, then you'll call them back every time you need help. So it goes a long way.
Yes, and what's funny is I actually haven't called that company back to service my stuff. So,
Interesting.
yeah, well, it
Interesting.
is. I used whatever free stuff I got, but after that, I haven't called them back. So,
Sure.
they're good. They're good people, but I just, because of that experience, I didn't. So,
Sure.
so getting into, we talk about workflow for a minute, and so people are just starting out having to build out a process. So how does company cam save time, improve workflow processes, in really in any contracting business?
Yes. So yeah, I did hit on a few things. So I'll try to hit on a few new things. I think the first thing that contractors don't think about when they're just starting is, yep, I know that I need to take photos. I'll just snap them on my phone. Trust me, down the line, maybe even 1 year in, it could be maybe just a few months in, you're going to realize how many work photos are completely filling up your phone. You're going to realize that you need to start to buy more storage. And then all of a sudden, you have no idea. Somebody's going to call you up and say, hey, you did this, or hey, I need you to come back. Something you worked on 2 months ago is broken. And you have no clue what that job was. You have no clue what unit maybe you were working on. You don't, maybe you may not even remember that client. And then you're scrolling through trying to find the photos that you took just based on maybe like the date, right? Of when they think you last came out. It can become a nightmare. And I've had so many people that I've worked with say, like, if only we had this when we started. So I think it's a really, really good question to ask, what's something that you can get ahead of? And that's one thing. You need to be taking photos. Now, put yourself ahead of the game and don't use your own personal camera roll to do that, because it will only cause a headache for you down the road. So that's again a huge reason why CompanyCam exists today. So what we built, obviously, if you've never heard of CompanyCam, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a mobile app. You can literally download it right now and test it out. It's a mobile app that just sits on your smartphone, and you snap photos through the app, just like you would snap photos through your camera roll. It's incredibly easy to use, and we made it for that reason, to make it very easy to use, so you would take photos, right? Because you need to take photos. So within CompanyCam, sure, you're snapping photos, but we automatically organize them for you. So we organize them by location, and turn them into location project folders. And then every single photo, we call it a smart photo. Every single photo is stamped with the date, the time, and then the person within your company that took that photo. So already, that just normally when I tell people that are first looking at us, just those main facts, that they're already blown away, because you're going to come and to find out, if you haven't already, you just want to scroll through and see some pictures of your kids and the vacation that you just went on a week ago. The last thing you want to see is a million photos of units you've installed or roofs that you've been working on. So being able to kind of have that divide is really good.
Yeah. Does it geotag it at all? I was curious about that.
Yep. So it's location based.
Oh, see, that's nice too, because then you're not worried about like,
Yes.
crap, what address? I think, and that's super smart with the in-app stuff too as well. I was thinking about that, and I kind of figured you did, in terms of taking it in the photo, because if you have to take it on your phone and then upload it, that's a pain in the butt. And I think, like, it's like you took Google Drive's ideas and just made it like 500 times better for contractors, because that was the only comparison I could think was like, what's this compared to? It's like, well, Google Drive. People are like, well, Google Drive's free. I'm like, yeah, but this is way better. Like, look how much time you're going to save by not having to move stuff around and upload things. So I think it's fantastic. So when it comes to actually, we're documenting process stuff, some things that people don't talk about is the sales process. And I know some people are like, well, if you do good work, you're going to sell, whatever. But no, there eventually, when you want to grow and scale, you have to have a process that you can teach. We know this. So how does CompanyCam, and I heard somebody talk about this on a podcast, that's why I actually threw this question in later. How does CompanyCam help with the sales process?
Yeah, a lot. So again, we're visual people, and that's a big deal. So visually being able to show what you have done is exactly like what happens when you jump on Amazon and you're trying to decide which, desk chair to buy. That's what I was doing yesterday. And guess what I did? I looked through all the photos of the things that of the reviews people left, and I read all their reviews. The exact same thing. If you can visually show what you did, and the challenge that you faced, the issue that was going on, and how you fixed it, how you provided a solution, and visually show that customer already trusts you, right? So it's a huge deal. I won't go into all the different features that CompanyCam offers to basically automatically help you do that. But we offer a lot of features where you can easily present your photos, you can easily share photos of a specific project to customers, and you can also get those photos on your website. So in general, yes, visually showing creates trust right away and helps decision making a lot faster.
Yep, and I agree. It's funny, to compare to that, you talk about Amazon. I was looking for a slide the other day for our kid's birthday party coming up, and I was like, how big is this thing? Like, they give you dimensions, you go outside, you measure, but I'm like, I need to see it next to something. So a few videos and pictures I saw of a slide, and I'm like, okay, now I know how it's going to measure up. So then we made the purchase based off of what we saw on video and what we saw on the picture. So that's hugely important, and I think I don't think people understand that value. Well, some people do, the ones that are winning, but the ones who are starting out understand that showing is going to work way better than telling.
100%.
So let's get into real quick, because we got a few minutes left, and I don't want to hold you up. We try to keep it 30 minutes. So what companies do you guys integrate with? Because I know people are using CRM systems and stuff like that. So what are the other companies you guys integrate with?
Oh man, to see the full list, you should definitely go to CompanyCam.com, and we have a little button that says integrations, and you can see all of them. And truly, it's just going to build even more, because we ultimately want to provide an incredible video and photo capture experience for our contractors, but we want it so that it's super seamless with whatever they're using. So ultimately, CompanyCam's goal is to integrate with any type of system out there that you can input photos into, because then it just streamlines your process, right? And if you're just starting out and you're choosing technologies, make sure that you're choosing software that can talk to each other. It will, just trust me, it will save you a headache in the long run. So with that, I can call out a few big ones, but we, within, home services, we have like House Call Pro, Successware, Workies, and then we have Jobber. That's one of our newer ones that has just been super successful. People have loved it. We work with Job Nimbus, RoofLink, Roofer. We have an amazing Zapier 2.0 library. So even for all the ones I just said were custom integrations that we built, and that you can easily link up with. But for the ones that we don't have a custom integration with yet, we have an awesome Zapier 2.0 excuse me, library where you can link up with what you're currently using and test it out. And it's super intuitive and easy to use. So, but yeah, as a goal, the goal for our company is to streamline every contractor's process with whatever other technology they're using.
That's awesome. And what, so does it, if I'm using a CRM system, let's say I take photos of a project, let's say they've got a notes page or a section in there. So it just basically uploads it in CompanyCam and shoots it over to the CRM as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, super easy and intuitive to use. You can link them up. When you create, again, there's a lot of different words within different CRMs, but when you create a new contact, or say you create a new job within your CRM or your field management software, it will automatically create a project within CompanyCam with that correct geotag, with that correct location. And then literally when you drive up to that location, CompanyCam will understand where you're at geographically, right? And it will pull up that project for you right away. You'll jump in, you'll snap all of your photos, and then all the photos you snap in that project will automatically sync back to the correct job or contact in your other software. So yeah, we've made it really intuitive and easy.
That's crazy. And I think, and for future customers as well, when you go back and serve that customer again, now you've got all the notes, you got all the pictures, you know exactly what you did. And I think that's, you would have probably said that, but that's hugely important for everybody.
Exactly. Yep.
So to kind of finish out, wrap out here, what are the feature benefits you guys looking to improve on in the future?
Yeah, and honestly, I will say it's already happening. Like we have just really we really delved into just putting a ton of resources towards building an incredible product, and now we're in a position where we can do that. And truly, we are a customer built product. If you just saw the amount of different avenues of customer interviews we've done, customer feedback, it's just across all the different platforms we use. We document every single customer interaction we have, because then we can go through it and understand what do we need to create and what do we need to make. So the core product has always been the core product, and it lives on and it rings true because it's so needed. But what we are diving into, and what you can already kind of start to take advantage of, is a big piece has been what we call structured capture and or to-do lists. So of course people are like, yeah, it's so easy to take photos, but we may have new people coming into our company and we're trying to train them, or we just have a new apprentice going out and they're going to help install this unit, and we just need to give them a step-by-step structure of all the steps they need to go through and snap photos so that we know it happened. So we've built out this ability to create custom structured capture for any company out there, which is really exciting. Another big thing is a lot of people have asked for really high res photos and for 4K video. And what we've always done is we've captured photos, but we've compressed them so that it makes it really easy for them to upload automatically, so that everybody can see the photos that are being taken. But now we're offering the ability to do really high res photos, take advantage of those nice big cameras that are out now on your phone, and then 4K video as well. And something that's really exciting that hasn't yet launched is video walkthroughs. So a lot of our customers asked, they said, after we do a big project or maybe we do a remodel, we want to be able to exactly what you do on your phone when you do FaceTime. We want to be able to flip the camera so that we can show and point out what we've done, but we also want to talk to the client, educate them, help them understand what we did. So we're doing video walkthroughs where you can record your face and you can record what's in front of you and talk your customer, your client through what you've done or what you're planning to do. So again, it's all about enhancing communication, whether that's internally or externally with your customers or with other companies you're working with.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So if someone wants to get started with CompanyCam or find out more information, how do they go about doing that?
Sure thing. We are kind of all over, but if you really just want to dive in right away, our website is super intuitive, easy to navigate, and you're really going to get a very big picture of what we offer and how we can help you specifically. So I would definitely head over to CompanyCam.com. You can choose even the industry you're in and kind of understand how you can best leverage it. You can definitely check out the integrations that we have and what those look like. And then you can obviously see all the different features that we offer. So CompanyCam.com. If you decide, hey, this is awesome, I really want to give it a go, it's kind of a no-brainer. We let you test it out for 2 weeks for free. You can set up your account right there on the website, or you can simply go to the App Store and download it right now. Again, just look up CompanyCam. You can test it out. And then you can honestly test it out with your entire team. You can add everybody on there. You guys can test it out. We do free trainings and demos and really help you dive in without obviously having to invest anything. So honestly, take advantage of us. That's what I would say. Download the app if you really think you like it. Get a training, get your team using it, and it will really help you, understand if it's something that fits in your business model. And then obviously we're all over social, and I will say that our content team is incredible. We make really, really funny TikToks. We have an awesome presence on Facebook and on Instagram. So you can look up kind of CompanyCam at CompanyCam on any of those platforms, and you'll sure to have a good laugh and learn a lot. So that's where you can find us.
Awesome. Well, Claire, I can't thank you enough for taking some time today, hopping on, sharing a lot of value for these guys. Because I think, and girls, I say guys and girls, and helping them actually realize that, like, to me, while you said it's not see if it fits for your business, I think it fits for every business. I don't think there's one that shouldn't be doing this. Whether you use CompanyCam or not, you should be documenting your work as a contractor for all the reasons you said. And not only that, like, that's going to build your business right there. So thank you again for hopping on. We really appreciate it today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys again for listening to the Preferred Contractors podcast. If you haven't already, you can hop on Facebook. We have a Preferred Contractors community. Just search preferred.contractors. Should be the first one that pops up. We give you a ton of information and value on marketing, sales, business development, things like that. That's going to help you actually grow your contracting business, actionable steps. So thank you guys for listening. Until next time.